Yo guys, this is another low level money making method. In this video we will be learning about farming runs. Now this method can be done at any level, but a lot of high level players do farming runs just because it's a good amount of money for the amount of work that's required to do them, and they're extremely fast and easy to do. So let's just go through the stats here. You should expect to get around 30 to 75 herbs per run depending on how lucky you are. You can get less than 30 and more than 75, but it's just unlikely, so between 30 and 75 is what you should expect. And from these herbs you should be making around 150 to 300k per run. This obviously depends on the current prices of herbs and which ones you are using. In the description I've put a link that shows you which herb is the most profitable to farm. However, you may not be able to use some as each seed requires a farming level to use, but at the time of making this video, Toadflax is the most profitable and it only requires 38 farming. You will also be making a little farming XP from this, and this will only be between 1 and 5k, and this will be depending on the level of the herb that you are farming. And you will be able to do this every 75 minutes, however I recommend doing it every 90ish minutes because sometimes the herbs will not have grown after 75. So here are some items that I recommend. The first one is highly recommended, and that's the Juju Farming Potion. These are about 30k on the Grand Exchange right now for a 4-dose potion, but they are definitely worth it and will bring in profit since it gives you a 1 in 3 chance of picking twice the amount of herbs from a herb patch, so I definitely recommend using this. The next is Magic Secateurs, and this provides 10% more herbs when farming them. You can get this item from the Fairy Tale Part 1 quest. You won't lose out on too much profit if you don't have them, but if you do have them, it would help if you did use them. The next few items are just going to be the items that let you get to the herb patches faster, and they're the Explorer's Ring 3 or 4, which will let you teleport to the Falador Cabbage Patch. You can get the Explorer's Ring 3 for completing the beginner, easy and medium tasks for Lumbridge and Draenor, and you can get the Explorer's Ring 4 for completing all the tasks for Lumbridge and Draenor. This is fairly easy to do, but if you don't have it, don't worry, you can just teleport to the Port Siren Lodestone and run north to the patch from there. It really isn't that far from the Lodestone, so this ring isn't necessary, it just makes farming runs a little bit faster. Once again, this one isn't really necessary, and it's the Ardown Cloak 2, 3 or 4. With the Ardown Cloak 2 or 3, you will only be able to use this teleport to the Ardown farming patch once per day, but once you've unlocked the 4th one, you have unlimited uses on its teleport. If you don't have this, you can easily get to the farming patch by teleporting to the Ardown Lodestone and running a little northeast. And lastly, we have the Ectophile, and you can get this by completing the Ghost Ahoy quests. You only need to have done Priest in Peril and the Restless Ghost to do this quest, and they are both very easily quests, as well as have 25 agility and 20 cooking. So I definitely recommend completing the Ghost Ahoy quest to get to the Ectophile, as it will speed up your farming runs by quite a bit. So to start the run, make sure you have 5 of the seeds that you want to plant and 5 super compost in your inventory, and the first patch we're going to start at is in Trollheim. To be able to farm at this patch, you need to have completed the My Big Arms Adventure quest. It's a really simple quest that has low requirements of 10 woodcutting and 29 farming, so I recommend that you do that quest so you can have access to this patch. To get to the patch quicker, it's recommended to be able to teleport to Trollheim, but that requires 61 magic. If you don't have that, you're going to have to walk your way there from Berthorpe, or if you really wanted to, you could just leave this patch out and follow the rest of the 4 patches. Once you're in Trollheim, rake the herb patch if it needs raking, add your super compost to the herb patch, and then add your seed to the herb patch, and then go on to the next one. Please bear in mind at this point you don't have to use your Juju farming potion, you only need to do this when it's time to pick up the herbs when they are fully grown. It doesn't really matter what patch you go to next. I usually do them in any random order after starting with Trollheim, and the reason I start at Trollheim is because it's the furthest one away from a teleport, and since the Juju potion only lasts 6 minutes, I want to make sure I can do my whole farming run within that 6 minutes. There is also a farming patch in Prif in case you have access to that, but you most likely don't if you're watching a low level guide, so I'm just going to be showing you where it is just in case, and you can add it to your farming run. So after they've all been planted, I usually wait around 90 to 95 minutes before picking them, because as you'll see, only 2 of my patches were able to be picked after 80 minutes, and I had to wait a little longer before picking the remaining 3. So at the end of this farming run, I ended up with 42 herbs, and I actually made a little mistake when farming the last 3 because I forgot to drink the Juju potion again, since I had to log out and wait for the herbs that didn't grow, so this may have caused me to miss out on a couple of herbs. But this was quite an average herb run, and I know a few people that have gotten way more than that at times, so it'll most likely happen to you if you end up doing this a lot. But anyways, that's the end of the video. If this helped you, please leave a like and check out my other money making guides that will be linked in the outro. Thanks for watching, and peace!